Hello dear students, welcome back to the NCERT Science class of 9th standard. Dear students, in the previous class we have studied about we have completed the exercise part of the first topic of biology, that is the fundamental unit of life. We have studied detail there, and now we are going to study the further part, the next part of the previous topic, that is about the cell. We have studied in the previous class. Now we are going to study the tissue. See dear students, tissue means, the meaning of tissue, see what happens here dear students. We have studied in the previous class about the cell. The cell is the structural and functional unit of life. See what happens dear students. The number of cells, what happens, they combine to form a tissue. Yes, in case of unicellular organism, a single cell itself shows all the life processes. Like amoeba is having amoeba which is made up of a single cell which performs all the life activities. For example, digestion, respiration, excretion, circulation. All these life processes is going on in a single cell. Yes, but when we come to the higher animals, like a human being and all, in case of higher animals, see, it is going on by special organs. The special organs are there. See, digestive system is there in our body, respiratory system, complete respiratory system is there. Oh, and next circulatory system, excretory system. The number of processes are there, number of systems are there. All these systems are going on by the group of cells. Yes. See what happens dear students. The number of cells combines to form the tissue. It means the special types of cells. See, the cell is having cell performs all the functions. A cell shows nutrition, means digestion, respiration, excretion, circulation, and all the processes are going on in the cell. And all, see what happens. The same kinds of cells. The same kinds of cells who are having the same functions, whatever they are giving. For example, I will tell you, in the skin cells is having the special characters, that is gives the protective cover to the body. Yes, the cells are flattened. Like that, the characteristics are there in the cells. In case of muscle cells, the same kinds of cells combines to form a muscle tissue. Yes, in case of blood, the same kinds of cells are there. Yes, in case of bones, the uniform cells are there. Means same, all the cells are of same kinds and are having the same functions. They are performing the same function. In bone, they will give the supportive. The cells give the supportive to the body. In case of skin, that will give the protectiveness. And they are arranged very tightly. They are very flat cells. Isn't it? Like that. See, the same kinds of cells having the same functions, combine to form a tissue. Or in other words, we can define that the tissue is a group of same kinds of cells and having the same functions or perform the same functions. These group of cells are called as the tissue. The tissues are the group of same kinds of cells and perform the same functions. These group of cells are called as the tissue. Next, dear students, we will see, in this topic we will study the plant tissue and animal tissue. In this topic we will study detail about the plant tissue and animal tissue. First of all, we will study the plant tissue. Later we will study the animal tissue. Here, dear students, in case of plant tissue and animal tissue, we will see the differences. In most of the times in the exams, he asks what is the difference between the plant tissue and animal tissue. In the previous class, we have studied about the difference between the plant cell and animal cell. Yes, that is also an important question as point of examination. And come to the plant tissue and animal tissue. See here, dear students, in case of plants, The plants are stationary, the tissues are stationary. They will not show contraction and relaxation. In case of plants, the tissues, whatever the tissues are present, they will not show contraction and relaxation. In case of animals, the plant tissue, in case of animals, the tissues are mobile. They show contraction and relaxation. See here the tissues are present. They show the contraction and relaxation. Yes, that's why we can say that the animal tissues are mobile, movable. In case of plant tissue, the plant tissues are stationary. Yes. Next, come to the next point, that is here in case of plant tissue, large number of supportive tissues are present. Along with the tissues, the supportive tissues are present. And in all these supportive tissue, what happens? The number of dead cells are more. In case of plant cell, in case of plant tissue, the dead cells are more and they are present in the form of supportive, and which gives a mechanical support to the plants to stand upright. Number of dead cells are more in the plant tissue and they are act like a supportive cells for the plant. Yes, but in case of animal cells, all cells are active. If a cell dies, then it will be it may be removed out from the body. It means in case of animal cell, all cells are living or active. Yes. Next difference here, these tissues needs less energy. In case of plant cell, what happens? Plant tissue, the cells are not mobile, means stationary, they are stagnant at one place. The plant tissues are stagnant at one place, they will not show any movements, and that if it shows movement, it needs more energy. But in case of plant cells, what happens? Plant tissue are stationary, they will not show any movements. That's why they doesn't need more energy. Plant tissue needs very less energy. In case of animal tissues are mobile. For that they needs energy. That's why the requirement of energy in case of animal tissue is more or is higher than that of the plant tissue. Understood or not? The next, dear students, growth is limited to the certain reasons. Here, growth is specific, is not restricted to the specific reason. See what happens, dear students? In case of plants, one more point I am telling you. Plant shows growth continuously until the end of the life. See, every year you are seeing the growth of the plants. Huge plants again they will grow during the rainy season and all. But animal, for example, suppose our height, that will be stop at a particular age. In case of plants, the growth will be continue until the death. But in case of animals, the growth will be stopped. But that is the point. See here, this growth will be throughout the life. In case of plants, the growth will be continue throughout the life. Here the growth will be stopped at a particular age. But here what happens, dear students? In case of plants, growth is restricted to a particular reason only. Suppose, for example, the leaves of mango, it is restricted. That size, the mango's leaf is that much of size. Suppose, for example, it will not be raised up to the 1 meter or half meter. Whatever the restricted is, means whatever the size of the leaf, that much it will grow. Isn't it? The growth is restricted. In the stem region, what happens? The growth may occur. In the leaf, the growth will not occur. It means if it will stop at a particular time. In the leaf, the growth will be limited. That's why he is going to tell us. Growth is limited in certain regions. The growth will be in the certain regions. But here, the growth is not limited in the certain regions. It means throughout the body, the growth is going on. But in a particular age, the growth will stop in case of animals. Here, the growth is restricted or limited in a particular region. But in some regions, the growth will be occurs throughout the life. Understood or not? Understood or not? Here what happens? In case of plant tissue, the growth in some reason occurs throughout the life, but in some reason the growth will stop. For example, in the stem reason, what happens? The growth will occur at the end of the life. Until the life is there in the plants, the growth occurs in the plants. Only in some reasons, only in the stem reasons, stem, branches, and see some birds and all. There what happens? Growth will occur. But in case of some reason, what happens? Like leaves, the growth will not occur. First it will show the growth, and again when it reaches to the maximum size, from there it will not rise. Is it like that? In case of animals, in all the parts of the body, the growth occurs. In all the parts of the bodies of the animals, the growth occurs, and at a particular age, the growth will stop. But here what happens? In some reason only, your growth will take place in case of until the death, and next, in some reason, the growth never occurs until the life. Next, dear students, in case of plants, tissue level of organizations are there. In case of plants, there is no any organ or organ systems. Organ and organ systems are not present. See how we are having the digestive system, organ system is there. The number of organs combines to form an organ system. Buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach and all. The different organs combines to form an organ system. Here in case of plants, there is no any organ system. That's why in case of plants, tissue level of organization is there. There is no any organ system. Here in case of animals, organ system is present. In case of animals, the organ system is present. Yes. The next, dear students, now we are going to study the different types of plant tissue. Here, dear students, first we will study about the plant tissue, later we will study about the animal tissue. First, plant tissue. Here what happens, dear students? Plant tissue mainly present in the plants. That we are studying the characteristics of the plant tissue. You can write the characteristics of the plant tissue also. This is on the characteristics of the animal tissue. And both here what happens? The difference present between the plant tissue and animal tissue. Here the stationary, the large supportive dead cells are there. In case of plant tissue, what happens? They need less energy. Next, growth is limited in a certain region. And next, growth in other regions, what happens? The growth will be continued until the life. Next, what happens? Tissue grade of organization. These are the characteristics of the plant tissue. Next, the plant tissue, they are divided into two types. The plant tissue divides into two types. The first one is meristematic tissue. The second one is permanent tissue. Plant tissue mainly divided into two types. The first one is meristematic tissue. The second one is permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Mainly there are two types. Again, they are further branched into different types. See, the meristematic tissue, I will tell you the characteristics of the meristematic tissue. The characteristics of the meristematic tissue, the cells are very active. One thing I will tell you, one point I want to tell you, that is, meristematic tissue is present only in a newly growing region. You might have saw the root tips in the onion, or when you go to the aerial roots of banana tree. Aerial roots means roots which are present in the air. That is aerial roots. The tip of the aerial roots of the banana tree, or the tip of the roots of the onion, that is having the tip which is very minute. If you want to pinch it with a finger, that you can pinch it. It means, see here, at the newly growing soft part of the plant, which is made up by the meristematic tissue. Not only the root, shoot, and stem, and also the newly growing leaves. They are made up by the meristematic tissue. Understood? Next, the cells are very active. Here, the rest of the cells are not active, non-mobile, stationary, that we have studied. Here, in case of meristematic tissue, the cells are very active and growth. In the meristematic tissue, the rate of growth is more. The next, see, have a dense cytoplasm, very dense cytoplasm, very active cells. Dense cytoplasm, cellulose, thin cellulose with cell wall with thin cellulose or thin cell wall. Thin cell wall. The next, prominent nuclei. Prominent nuclei means large nuclei. Prominent nuclei, it means large sized nuclei. That is, nucleus is a large size in case of meristematic tissue. The cells are active. Why they are active? It means the cell division is very rapid. You have studied the cell division in the previous topic. The cell division occurs. It means in case of meristematic tissue, cell division is faster. A rapid cell division is present in the meristematic tissue. That's why we can say that cells are very active. It means rapid cell division occurs in the meristematic tissue. Yes? Why they are active means they are having a dense cytoplasm and thin cell wall with a thin cellulose. Next, prominent nuclei, large size nuclei. Nucleus is a large sized because to divide the cell very easily. Next, lack of vacuoles. Vacuoles are absent. One more important point, the main function of vacuole is to store the waste material. Here what happens? Newly growing cells are present. There is no any maybe waste to store. That's why the vacuoles are, see, less are absent in the meristematic tissue. It is just like a animal tissue. It means newly growing wide, soft tissue which is present at the tip of the root, shoot and stem. That the tip of the plant is called as the meristematic tissue. Understood or not? Next, dear students, the cell division is a rapid. Cell division occurs faster than the other tissues. Newly growing tissue is called as the meristematic tissue. Again, further you can write. Yes, I will show you with a diagram. With a diagram, I will show you the meristematic tissue. The meristematic tissue which is present at the root and shoot stem. See, the tip of the meristematic tissue. And next, internodular regions. Isn't this one is a root tip with the tip, root part, shoot part, and stem part. You see. Again, see here what happens, dear students. Meristematic tissue, plant tissues are two types: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue, which is present at the tip part, nodular part. Again, you see different reasons. The characteristics of the meristematic tissue. See, the meristematic tissue again further divided into three types. Meristematic tissue, you have studied the characteristics of the meristematic tissue. The meristematic tissue is first divided into three types. The first one is apical meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue. Then third one is lateral meristematic tissue. Apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem also we can say. Apical means apex, apex which is present at the apex level. That is apical meristem. Apical meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue. Intercalary meristematic tissue. In between the internode, that is called as the intercalary meristematic tissue. And next, what happens, dear students? The grit. That is lateral meristem. Lateral meristem. Listen here, dear students. There are three types of meristematic tissue: apical meristematic tissue, intercalary meristematic tissue, lateral meristematic tissue. Apical meristematic tissue means they are present at the apex of the root, shoot and stem. Apex of the tip. At the tip region, whatever the meristematic tissue is present, that tip part is called as the apical meristem or apical meristematic tissue. In the nodular regions where the branches are attached, that nodular regions are called, that is made up by the special type of tissue, that is here also the tissue is present, that is helps in the increase of stem, length of increase of stem from the middle, that is by the intercalary meristem or internode. In between the two different nodes, intercalary region is present. In the intercalary region, what happens? A special type of meristematic tissue is present, that is called as the intercalary meristematic tissue, that increases the height from the middle. The next comes to the lateral meristematic tissue. The third type is lateral meristematic tissue. Lateral means, see, that increases the width, wider, the stem becomes wider. See, you might have saw the plants, you might have experienced, you may saw the plants in the childhood, in your the maternal parents or in your uncle house. After when you go after 5 years, 6 years or 10 years later, the plants may grow, plants will grow and their width increases, the stem part enlarges, and it is due to the width of the plant is increased due to the presence of lateral meristem. Due to the presence of lateral meristem, that is the lateral meristematic tissue which increases the width of the plant. The width of the plant increases. It means with the presence of which the wider the plant stem becomes wider, it is due to the presence of lateral meristem. Understood? Here, once again I will repeat you. Plant tissues are of two types. The first one is plant tissues of two types: meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue which is present in the newly growing regions. Next, the cells are very active. Next, have the dense cytoplasm. Next, cellulose with the thin cell wall. Next, what happens? The nucleus are larger and lack of vacuoles. Vacuoles are absent. Next, what happens, dear students? Meristematic tissue is of three types: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem. Apical meristem which is present in the tip region of the shoot, stem and roots. Next, the intercalary meristem which is present in between the two nodes, that is in the intercalary regions, intercalary part. Then where the branches are attached to the stem, that part, that is where the meristematic tissue is present. Next, after this one, the lateral meristem which is present on the which increases the grip part, which is present in the middle of the plant, which increases the plant widerly, or grip of the plant is increased. Isn't it? That's all about the meristematic tissue. Isn't it? Next study, students, come to the permanent tissue. Permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue. Second one is permanent tissue. Here, dear students, when meristematic tissue, mainly meristematic tissue is present in the newly growing regions. They are very soft, delicate. If you pinch with the fingers, that may break. Yes. Next, what happens, dear students, when meristematic tissue shows growing, when meristematic tissue turns aged, when meristematic tissue age, that will convert it into the hard, that will becomes hard. Meristematic tissue is a soft one. During the growth, when it grows, see, when the plants are smaller, see what happens? The plants are soft. Again, it is going on increasing. At the tip region only, the meristematic part is present. When this meristematic part becomes harder, that will turns to the permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue. Permanent tissue, in the prior it was present in the meristematic form. When meristematic tissue is aged or when it becomes hard, that will turns to the permanent tissue. It means its characters, we can see the permanent tissue characters, that is cells are non-active, most of the cells are dead, that we have studied there. Next, with a cytoplasm, the cellulose with the thick cell wall, the cellulose with the thick cell wall. Here, why the cellulose? The cell wall is a thin. In case of meristematic tissue, means if cell wall is a thin, the cell division occurs very easily. If cell wall is a thick, then cell division it takes more time. The cell division may be slow, isn't it? That's why the cell wall in case of meristematic tissue is thin. In case of permanent tissue, the cell wall is a thick with dense cellulose. It means the cell division is ready. The next, nuclei is as usual size, which is present in the periphery. And vacuoles are present in the permanent tissue. Vacuoles will grow large size. 90% of cells are occupied by the vacuole. Understood? Next, dear students, the permanent tissue that will divide into again two main types. That is simple permanent tissue. Second one is complex permanent tissue. Here, permanent tissue that is formed from the meristematic tissue. When the meristematic tissue age, it will turn to the hard. At that hard meristematic tissue is turns to the means permanent tissue. The permanent tissue is of two types: simple permanent tissue. The second one is complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue, I will tell you the definition. See what happens, dear students, in case of simple permanent tissue. In case of simple permanent tissue, the same kinds of cells are present. Same kinds of, later we study there about the simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue we will study. In case of simple permanent tissue, same kinds of cells are present. Here in complex permanent tissue, the different types of cells are present. Again, simple permanent tissue are divided into three types. The first one is parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Then complex permanent tissue again is divided into two types, that is xylem and phloem. Isn't it? After studying this, We will come to know detail about the permanent tissues.